Here with Coach Calhoun again. Thanks for joining, Coach. We didn't have a chance to get together last week because I was in Vegas, so that's on me. But since we talked last time, there's the two games we had was Monarch and Lake Wales. So I just wanted to kind of talk about Monarch first. Going into Monarch, these games were similar in that the strategy was definitely different. But I think there was a play in each game that kind of turned it around. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So on that, the final score was 34-20. Going into that first quarter, though, was 0-0 going into the second quarter. And then we got on the board first when Anthony Gay scored a rushing touchdown. Talk a little bit about his contribution this year, since he's such a player that you can put him in receiver, you can put him at running back, and you even put him in quarterback. How does that help you guys out?
Appreciate you having me again, Don. Always a pleasure, man. I hope Vegas was a heck of a time.
Yeah.
Anthony Gay has been electric for us on offense. We can kind of put him anywhere. He kind of gets us going if we're sputtering. He kind of gets, those tough yards, those tough catches, tough runs. His production has been great for us. As our offense has started to find our identity and what we want to do, he's been a major part of that. And the last two games, his production has been extremely good. And Monarch, he was doing it more at the receiver end, and he played a good game. But like I said, overall with that guy, his production's been great, and his effort's great, and it's just good to have him part of our program.
And seeing that he's an upperclassman, that must help as well.
Yeah, you're always good when you have senior leadership and guys that, step in and do what needs to be done on and off the field. He's also a 4.0 student, so that also goes along with, what he does on the field.
That's good, yeah. And then the next thing coming up was Monarch had a quarterback keeper to tie it up. And then we had a pick six from Rasheem Turner. He's been a ball hawk the past couple games. Talk a little bit about what he has done in the backfield.
Man, he's the leader of our team. He was the unanimous captain selected. Last year, he was the only junior selected as a captain. He does it all for us, man. He's fiery, he's quick, he's aggressive, and people are showing also that he can get out there and cover. Back-to-back pick sixes in games is not something that usually happens, but he does everything we need him to do. Leader on and off the field, a vocal, but also a mental leader. So he's showing you what he needs to do. He's out there every day. He's practicing. He practices hard. He plays hard. So he's the leader of our team, and we wouldn't have any success where we're at without him.
He's been great this year. And then after the pick six, they scored going right before the half. I think there was a 15-yard personal foul that kind of helped them. What do you tell the kids on limiting the penalties during the games?
It's me plays. One of our old lineman coach called them mental error plays that you just can't have. We tell the kids, try to preach those things of a situation that's a personal situation can end up costing the team, whether it's 15 yards or 30 yards. In this case, it was heck of a yards, and it puts us out of position with what we're doing. I remember it was a big penalty where one of our players ran into their official on the side, or the official ran into them on the sideline, and it brought back a long kick return. Those are the things you look at, when you're looking at losses and what happens. Like, hey, man, 3 or 4 small things can equate to, large things. And that's kind of what happened in that game. And you tell the kids, hey, man, like, if it's a holding call and say a play bounce, you're supposed to go inside, you get outside, I can take that. If it's a pass interference, that's a, bam play, I can take that. But we can't take the taunting. We can't take the late hits. We can't take things that we can control. And so I definitely tell them that and preach on that all the time in practice and obviously during games.
So after that penalty, they were able to score, and going into halftime, it was 14-13. They were up by 1. Coming out of the half, we had to punt, and then they had another touchdown pass to make it 20-13. Monarch had 2 4-star receivers. What was the game plan on how you were covering? Because I believe it was you doing zone, correct?
Well, yeah, we played the different things, played little match quarters, and we kind of mix it in what we're doing. Basically, what we're trying to do is make sure we're matching up with guys, personnel wise, what we wanted to do. They were a heck of a players. They always have a good staple of receivers, and they just were catching everything. I mean, it was low balls, high balls over the middle. These guys just were being really secure in what they were doing, and they were determined. I mean, they were determined. They came in last year and lost a close game, and they wanted to come back. They had just lost 2 games in a row, so they were determined, and they came out and played really well, and we obviously had things bounce their way, a couple crazy plays, but the
Yeah.
receivers, our basic thing was like try not to let them beat us over top,
Yeah.
bracket them when we can, with the safety or with the linebacker, and just play football. But they were excellent players, and they just were extremely on that game.
Yeah, and it was Jabari Brady was the one that had the 2 touchdowns, and he was the 4-star committed to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
There was one of the plays when he was covered in double covered actually, and he just went up and had it. So in those type of situations, it's tough when you play him like you should be playing, and he goes up and gets that. But that's what football, right?
Yes, sir. You're right. He's definitely a great player, and he had a good game. He had a good showing.
Yeah. And then there was 2013 at that, and this is what the crazy play that the football gods just wasn't in on our side for this one. So it was a muffed punt that went up in the air, and it kind of looked like a tip drill almost, where there was many people trying to get the ball and no one was able to come up with it. They finally came up with it and ran it into the end zone. Talk a little bit about what you thought during that play.
Well, I thought, like you said, I thought the football guys just wasn't on our side. The play, their punt return, they had muffed, I think, 2 to 3 punts this game. So this one was a bad muff, popped off his chest. I definitely thought we had it. We grabbed it, then we dropped it. They grabbed it, dropped it. We grabbed it, dropped it, and then it just popped back up in the air and landed in the kid's hands. It's a one in a lifetime football play that will never happen again, and it just happened to happen to us, and it was unfortunate because we would have got the ball, I think, in plus territory off the
Yes.
muff, and offense was starting to find a little momentum, so we could have punched it in, but special teams is one of the 3 phases of the game that's very important, and they had to one up with that one. That was just a play that even when I watch it on film still today, I'm like, I don't know how this happened. But
Yeah. And
definitely
that
a
made
crazy
it
free play.
27-13, so they were up by 2. We were able to get a score again to bring it down to 27-20, but at that point we weren't able to get off the field and give the offense the ball. Talk a little bit about on that. I know their passing was a key to that, and then talk a bit about that piece.
Well, going down, I remember it was 27-20. It was 4th and 6. They were down by on our going in the end zone, and we called the play. We had one of our great corners in is going to be really great, just young, JoJo Watson. He was out
Yeah, he's
there,
good.
and they ran a concept that he probably hasn't seen much, and then they came off and lowered him inside, and then they came with a late wheel route, and he was wide open, and that's how they were able to score. But they knew what we were doing. But the thing is, when we adjusted, we just didn't adjust the correct way, and that's how they were able to get in there and score, which eliminated the chance for our offense to go down there and get a chance to score. So that's what put it away. But that play was a good play. But I talked to JoJo, obviously a young corner, and he understands, where he was at on that, and it won't happen again. But
Yeah,
he
definitely.
that,
That's the
but it
good
was
thing.
definitely
It won't happen again.
it won't happen again. He knows, but yeah, that kind of what it was. They just capitalized on out leveraging us and made a good play on 4th and 6. Just sucks that we didn't get the chance to even see if offense and go down there and put points on the board to tie the game.
Yeah, yeah. So in that game, just a little to give props to some, Jason Williams was leading passer on that game, 10 for 16, 108 yards. He's done a good job this year.
Mm-hmm.
Devarian Jefferson was the leading rusher, had 9 for 70 yards, and Kamari Freeman and Jalen Chaplin were both
Mm-hmm.
had some good rushing yards. And then, of course, Anthony Gay with the receiving, Cameron Roberts and Louis Ojeda Robles. So those seem to be the 3 receivers that have had a lot of work. Talk a little bit about them.
Well, it's a good group. We talked about Gate earlier. Now Lewis Ojeda, very explosive slot. He's very fast and quick. He gets in and out of his cuts. Uh, Cam Roberts is a guy, long, aggressive, a kid who really want to get going. But just a good group of stable of guys. And they played well that game. The ball was getting out. They were catching it good, doing those different things. And we kind of seen it open up a little bit to what we can do. But yeah, those guys, great kids, great receivers, and the young ones, like I said, Cam and Lewis will be back next year. So it's good to have those guys playing now, so they'll be definitely ready, for the season next year.
That's good, yeah. And then on the defense, Kamoy Stevenson had 13 tackles, Milton Roebuck had 13 tackles, Rasheem Turner, again, besides his pick six, had 11 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Bush, Brian Bush had one sack. Brandon Sims and Terrence Thompson had both a half a sack.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good that the defense got involved and they had some good on the defensive side of the ball too.
Definitely.
But that was a crazy play.
It's something, like I said, man. It's something that you can watch 10,000 football games and it'll happen once. So unfortunate does that happened with the punt. But overall, those guys on defense, man, Kamoy Stevenson and Milton Roebuck are guys that have come into their own this year, and guys that work to get where they're at, and they're starting to show, they can play football and they're doing good things.
Yeah, so the next game was Lake Wales, and this was a little bit of a different strategy wise. So
Mm-hmm.
Lake Wales was more of a running team than they were a passing team. Talk a little bit about the game plan for Lake Wales.
Well, the game plan wasn't to have them run the ball the way they did. That's not what we want, And we expressed that to our guys about doing their assignment and doing it consistently, pressing down gaps, getting hands on tackles so they can't climb, spilling when you need to, just a lot of different things. But the game plan was to harass them. They had
Yeah,
some really good receivers, so we kind of felt it was going to come out and try to tackle the receivers, and they more so focused on the run game. And we tried to adjust mid game, and we shut down counter, and then they came back, was running inside zone, and it was bending back to the B gap a lot, backside B gap, and we just have to be better with our run fits. We have to be better with our run fits, and we have to be more consistent with how we're flying to the ball. We have to be consistent with tackling. We didn't tackle well at all. So a lot of different things of that nature that kind of went to a big offensive night for them, and not a good defensive night for us.
yeah. So they had a field goal to start it out with, and then they were up 10-0 in the first quarter, and then 10-6 with going in. And then they had a fake punt that we were able to stop. Talk a little bit about that fake punt that they were backed up a little bit. I was surprised they tried the fake punt because there was too much room, in my opinion, for the fake
Yeah.
punt. But talk a little bit about how the special teams handled that.
Well, if you had to film, you'll see me jumping up on the sideline screaming it's a fake. Kind of figured it. 10 is one of their better receivers, and he was back there, and I could kind of tell they're in plus territory. They wanted to try to convert the first down. They were back. Like I said, I was a little surprised, with the yardage they had to get, that they still tried to attempt it. But I think it was in that position of it was too long to punt. I'm sorry, too short to punt, but too long for a field goal. So they probably just
Yeah,
felt, hey, let's try it out. But I was very happy with that. I almost had a little aneurysm because it looked like he almost ran for the first down. So
yeah,
thank goodness our guys, thank
yeah,
goodness our guys covered the guys they were intending to throw to, and they came down and rallied and made a good tackle to get the
yeah,
ball back to the offense.
yeah. And then on this, we had a pick six on that too. It was 29-24 at that point. And then this is the play that I think kind of turned things. They tried an onside. I don't even know if it was an onside kick. It was more a kick into the gap where no one was.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, our special teams coordinator Chris Merritt does a terrific job. He was beating himself up because he said we should have had the hands team on the field. They had just scored, and our offense was definitely moving the ball consistently all game. We were running the ball, we were being aggressive, and I think they felt it was about 6 minutes and 35 seconds left, I want to say, and I think they felt like if we give them the ball back, we might not get it back. So we got to try to make something happen. They had They had three guys outside of our end man of the line of scrimmage, where we were at for kickoff return, and they just raced to the ball. You know, our guys wasn't expected it, and then we did expect it. Their guys were already hustled down to the ball, so very, very disappointing. You know, that it happened. You know, very smart on their end to take a shot right there and try to go for it.
Yep.
But that definitely completely changed the game. The game, because not only did they get the ball back, they ended up scoring on us that drive again. So
Correct.
that was something that, you know, that we didn't want to happen, obviously, but definitely threw us off a little bit.
Yeah. So in that game, Jalen Chaplin had 55 yards passing. Isaiah Taylor had 39 yards passing. Anthony Gay was the leading rusher with 15 carries, 148 yards. Devarian Jefferson had 52 yards, and Kamari Freeman had 32 yards. So, and the touchdowns were Anthony Gay had a touchdown, Devarian Jefferson, and Jalen Chaplin. And then receiving, Anthony Gay was leading receiver with 59 yards receiving. Again, he's doing both rushing and receiving.
Yep.
And then we got the leading tacklers, which is Marcus Getty Jr. had 9, Kamoy Stevenson had 9, and Rasheem Turner again with 8, and also a pick 6. So he's very versatile, and it's good that the past 2 games, it's almost unheard of that you have 2 pick 6s.
It's unheard of to have in your career.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
to have it back-to-back games just shows the testament of how he is as a player and his preparation on what he does week in and week out.
Yeah. So final score on that one. On that one was 38-29. So that's how that one ended. So now looking forward, now this is coming into a must-win game, I would think. But how do you kind of juggle making the kids know that it's a must-win game, but not putting too much pressure on them and play it like a regular game?
Well, I'm not gonna say and lie to you, Don. It's the kids. The kids should know the pressure. They should understand the situation. You know, we don't come into each season, you know, and say, hey, we want to go 10-0. We come into each season and say we want to get in the playoffs and make a run. That's always what it's been. And we know in order to get to the playoffs outright, you have to win district games. And we understand that. We're preparing like it. The kids attack Monday, they attack Tuesday, they attack the weight room during class, and they feel good. You know, we feel good because we know we have not even played an inch of our best football. We know we've not played our best on either side of the ball. We have not played our best with our guys available, and we have not played our best just going out there and just looking like Seminole. You know, we've had times where we just haven't looked ourselves. But I think yesterday and today, I felt like the guys understand the calling. The seniors understand that you only got 5 more guaranteed games. You know, you only have 5 more guaranteed games. The playoffs is not guaranteed. I know it seems like that because you've been in Seminole, you always go there, but you still got to work for it. And I think our kids understand that. And the way they've responded since Lake Wales to today, to the end of the day's practice, I feel like they understand what's at bay.
And they got it's in your hands with you win the district games and you're into the playoffs. Lake Brantley. Talk a little bit about Lake Brantley. What do you see from them?
Well, it's definitely not the triple option anymore.
Exactly.
Explosive offense, terrific quarterback. They have nice skilled players. Defensively, they get into different looks, like to bring pressure. Definitely a well-coached football team. And guys is gonna play with effort. You know, they're gonna play with effort. They're gonna play hard, and they want to believe. You know, it's been a while since they've been able to beat our program, and I think coming to this game, they feel confident. And we're excited about the challenge. You know, we want to play a good team. We want to play a team that's well coached. We want to play a team that's well versed, and it's a good test for them, and it's a good test for us. But they're definitely a good team, and but we understand what we got to do in order to put ourselves in position where we want to be at the end of this year.
Yeah, and just a little bit for everyone else to know, Blake Brantley coming in, a new coach, a bunch of transfers in from where was the coach from? Was he
Masters Academy?
Masters Academy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the players came in from that. So they got not the same team they had last year. Talk a little bit about what in that team, the difference between last year.
Well, first of all, like I said, the difference is they're just putting up an extreme amount of points. They're putting up a lot of points, and I think just the passing attack. They really want to pass the ball, and they've been very successful with it this season. And obviously, before it's more for grounded out, triple option, run the ball and get things you can. And now it's open it up, go deep, mesh routes, all different type of things. They have a really nice running back that gets in there and gets into space and goes. So they're a talented football team, and we understand that, and we know that coming to Friday is going to be I'm glad we're home. It's going to be a great game, and we just have to come out and start fast against these guys because we don't want them to get going on offense.
And they're balanced too. That's the thing I see with them on tape. So that's
Yep.
another tough thing about Lake Brantley. So good. So thanks for Pat doing this, and like I said, good game on Friday. We'll be there. We'll talk after
Yes, sir.
for the next game. And thanks a lot for being here. And after this game, we have a couple more district games. So basically, what it comes down to is win those games and you get in. You don't want to rely on the Max Preps rankings.
Not at all, because we don't seem to be Max Prep's best friends last couple of years.
Exactly. All right.
When the district you're in.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks, Coach. I'm going to stop it now and then